Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. It's been about a month since we've been in quarantine and away from our school and classes, but we have about a month of stories under our belt now. So today we are going to be starting a little farther back in chapter 2 because I actually realized I missed a part as the paragraph was on the page for chapter 3 in front of me. So anyone at home that's following along, if you'd like to go to paragraph 14 towards the end, where Shaggy is talking to our friend Nora, and he says, like, that's a lot of cash. And he asks, is it too late for me to build a house out of ice? Nora laughed. Yes, I'm afraid so. The ice artists have come from all around the world to compete. It's going to be very difficult to choose a winner. They're all incredibly talented and very competitive with one another. The designs are all unique and creative. She put her finger up in the air as if she just remembered something. But Shaggy, it's not too late for you to enter the ice cream eating contest. The winner of that contest will get a year's supply of maple ice cream as a prize. Would that be okay? Like, that sounds even better to me, Shaggy cried. Scoob, old pal, I hope you're hungry. He looked around, realizing Scooby was no longer next to him. Scooby? Rut. Scooby was standing at a nearby food cart, shoveling tacos into his mouth. I'm practicing. Okay, now we're on to chapter 3. Here we go. The gang wandered toward the town square, passing crowds of cheerful visitors. Ice houses lined the outer edge of the square. Some were more than 2 stories tall. Snow had finally stopped falling, and the sun was peeking through the clouds. The light glinted off the ice carvings as people milled around the town square, admiring the artist's work. Yoo-hoo, Scooby-Doo, Shaggy called. Scooby looked around the mounds of ice and snow, trying to find his friend. Snowplows had piled snow in large heaps throughout the square. The snow piles were being carved into beautiful icy art. Raggy? Scooby called. He peeked under a carved ice fish and around an ice shark. Like, over here! Shaggy waved out a round window in one of the ice structures. It was a house that had been built to look like a pirate ship. There was even a real fishing net hanging out over the edge of the boat. Scooby poked his head around the net. Ahoy, Scoob, you scurvy dog. Scooby chuckled, then slipped a pirate hat made of ice onto his head. Rock the rank, Raggy! He pointed at an icy shelf that was jutting out from the side of the ice boat. Ooh. Don't you dare, growled a menacing voice. I want you out of my boat. Scooby and Shaggy poked their heads around the side of the boat. One of the ice artists was watching them carefully. He was holding a sharp carving tool in one hand. Like, ahoy, Shaggy said, stepping carefully out of the icy ship. Nice boat, sir. It looks like you're frozen in. Not sailing far today, huh? Shaggy saluted the man, who frowned at them. You need to watch your step, the man said angrily. I have to keep an eye on people around here. He looked around suspiciously. This is a big prize, and I don't want anyone ruining my work before I win. We understand, Fred said, joining them. This ship doesn't look like it would have been easy to carve out of ice. How long have you been working on it? The man sighed. I've spent the last 3 weeks here building this ship. All I've got left to paint is the outside. Gotta make her shine like the South Seas. He held up a can of spray paint. I'm going to make the flag black. The ship's sides will sparkle with a glittering red paint, and the snow around the ship is going to be painted blue like the ocean. That sounds beautiful, Daphne said. It better be enough to win, the man said. I'm Soren Gray, the best ice carver in the world. He looked around at the other ice carvers. They were all hard at work, minding their own business and putting the finishing touches on their art. If you'll excuse me, I need to grab another can of paint for my supplies. Keep an eye on the other carvers for me. I don't trust anyone around here. The gang watched as Soren marched away from the town square. I guess the competition is really heating up, Velma said. Like, I hope it doesn't heat up enough to melt all the ice houses, Shaggy laughed. Get it? Heat up? Velma rolled her eyes. Let's take a look around at the other artist's work, Scooby. Shaggy, try not to touch anything. The gang wandered through the square, admiring the rest of the ice carvings. The other artists seemed to be having much more fun than Soren Gray. Some carvers were inviting people into their ice houses to see their work. One artist was even letting a little girl help paint with a shiny green wax. Daphne stopped to admire the woman's work. She had built a huge ice castle, complete with sparkling turrets and a moat. The artist was finishing an ice dragon that was peeking out of the icy water. "This ice castle is really groovy," Daphne exclaimed. So here we have our ice castle. "Thanks," the artist responded. "I'm Sabrina, and this is my first big ice carving competition. I'm really nervous." "You don't need to be nervous," Fred said. "This castle is definitely the best ice sculpture here. All the other artists here should be worried about competing against you." Sabrina smiled. "Thanks a lot. I better get back to work, though. I still have a lot to do before the judging tomorrow." "And I still have a lot of practicing to do before the ice cream eating contest tomorrow," Shaggy said. "Like, Scoob, let's head over there and check out the food carts." Scooby and Shaggy were drawn toward the smell of spun sugar and fresh maple cakes. The crowd was thick in the town square, and people seemed to be having a great time. Suddenly there was a loud shriek. Someone shouted, "It's the frozen giant! Everyone run!" People looked around and screamed and then fled, ducking under the ice sculptures and diving behind the park benches. Scooby and Shaggy hid inside a hot dog cart, watching as a huge icy beast roared through the town. It was pale as the snow, with pointy ears like a wolf's and an angry-looking expression on its face. As the beast tore through the town square, it threw something at the ice carvings that melted them on contact. The creature rose up, lifting its arms in the air, and towered over the crowd. Icicles hung from its frozen arms, and water dripped from its mouth as it roared. The beast ran toward the beautiful ice castle and grabbed Sabrina. "Help!" she screamed. "Put me down!" But the beast charged on, carrying Sabrina over its frozen shoulder. Sabrina kicked and shouted, hitting the creature's shoulders and back. But it was no use. The creature was too strong for her, and it stomped through the town, destroying everything in its wake. Alright, so that was a heck of a spot for us to stop this week, but we must. So there were some interesting twists and turns, a couple clues in there. I hope everyone caught on to. So this has been our fourth installment of me reading, and our third installment of Scooby-Doo and the Frozen Giant. Hope we'll see you back here next week, next Friday, for the next chapter, which will be chapter 4, sorry. And, yeah, everyone have a great week. Thank you.